Okay, that's going. Hey folks, how you doing? It's Nick Granville. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope that's all coming through. Seems to be. Hope everybody's doing well. I thought I'd play acoustic guitar today. Why not? A little different. I really like nylon string. I actually play this guitar probably more than most of my other guitars when I'm at home. The nylon string guitar lives in the living room and it's just perfect. Strat Slinger has a question here. He says, "Hey Nick, have you ever tried any 2-rock amps? If so, what are your thoughts? Much appreciated." My thoughts are they're freaking amazing. I've heard them a bunch of times, and every time I've heard them, they've been guitar tones I really liked. So Osnoy, I've seen Oz use them twice, various players like that, you know, and Harold Posen have used them. I've seen Josh Smith use them, people like that. So there was like a serious quality of tone coming from those players. But I tried them for myself for the first time in January when I was at the NAMM show. I went by and saw, I met Eli very briefly, but spoke with Mac, who's one of the owners. Eli and Mac are the two owners of 2-rock. And I had a big chat with Mac for quite some time. You know, he's a super sweet guy. Yeah, so, you know, I really like their stuff. I think 2-rock are amazing. I'd love to get my hands on one and get one into the studio here to do some demos and stuff for you all. So if anyone knows anyone at 2-rock, let them know. If you're just joining me, please like and subscribe. That stuff really helps. Not please, just do it. Go on, do it now. And then I'll play some music. So this microphone here is what you're hearing, and you're also hearing the fractal. I thought I'd run this through the fractal just so I can get some reverb. Right? Otherwise it's this. That's that mic, which I prefer the sound of a mic. Really, ideally I want the mic about here, but it's too much in the shop. Enjoying a nice dram too, people, given it's a Monday evening at 2 minutes past 9. My brother-in-law just came over and stayed from Melbourne, and he bought a nice New Zealand whiskey over, which was very cool of him. And I do quite like whiskey, as anyone who knows me knows that. Yeah, so, but I don't know much about New Zealand whiskies. Most of the stuff I've done is like the single malt Scotch, you know. It's a different thing. But here's with the verb. I don't like the pickups in acoustic guitars as much. This one looks like it's not set flat. But it also allows me to do some stuff like this. I've said it many times. The people go on about the modeling and the fractal stuff. Man, I tell you all, like, the effects are insane. That's why I love the VP4 so much. It's like this big and runs on 9 volt, granted a higher output 9 volt, but you get all those lush fractal effects. So you kind of get all that kind of stuff. But then I've set up this as well. Now something like that's kind of crazy but useful. It's kind of something you would expect from Steve Vai, right? Something like this too. You see what I mean about the reverbs? I think this one's about 30 seconds long. Now I wouldn't use that kind of in that way. I'd use it more like this. I haven't set the volume up right. The volume's cutting out. I need to put the volume over there. Let's see if that works. No, it doesn't work either. What am I doing wrong? Oh, I'll have to figure that out. It's not a sound I'd normally use. And then this. But really, I feel like I could put out an ambient album with just those two sounds. So any questions, hey, drop them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, as I mentioned. Let me know what you want me to play, and this is what I do with my weekly live stream. Just play some music. I'll do a Q&A if people want to know stuff. If I can teach you something, then let me know. I'm happy to. You just want to have a chat, let me know. You just want to enjoy the music, that's cool too. Is everything coming through okay? I really don't like piezo pickups. See, the microphone is just so much better. But I want it really more like that. Just bring in a little bit of that for the verb, eh? In fact, what I could do is I could do this, is turn the verb up heaps. Yeah, there we go, and then I can use even less. That's better. That's better. Hello, hello, hello. How's that for levels? Let me know if it's coming through clearly, people. Oh, so much better. But the thing with piezo is you get a lot of that kind of string sound. Cheers, Jungle Pope. so and so on. Such a great tune. That's almost like two tunes, that, right? Like you've got all that. I'm going to tune. See, the other thing too is running through the fractal. Fractal means I have a tuner. How's everyone doing? Where are you tuning in from? I'm sure there'll be some people that'll know where they're tuning in from, but always interested to know. I'm currently in Wellington. Oh, come on. It's one thing too, always tune up to pitch. There you notice like a string was under, I took it down a little bit and then bring it back up. They just hold tuning better. Wondering where that rattling was coming from. It's the metal bits. Get them out of the way if I can. See, what I should do is tuck it in there. How funny. Hearing that on the back of the guitar. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but because I have my headphones on, it's sort of everything sounds different in the headphones, you know. There we go. Oh, thank you. I'm glad it's a cool chord progression, isn't it? There's a Sonny Rollins tune called St. Thomas. Cheers, everybody. Enjoying this New Zealand dram. I know. Not Scotch. I've always liked that turnaround too from Lady Bird, for those that know that one. What was I thinking there? That's what I was thinking. another turnaround I use a lot. The old cycle. Play like this when I play this guitar, actually, like classical stance. Great tune. I love the Beatles, man. The Beatles were just the kings of songwriting. You know, nobody did that better. And really, that's the thing I care about more than anything, to be honest. I mean, great guitar playing, you know, sure, fine. Great piano, sax, whatever. But the tunes, man, that's the thing. That's kind of what's missing in a lot of music now. You know, it's like there's a lot of flashy kind of bullshit that kind of goes off well on the internet, you know, because you play something fast and people go, ooh, and it's usually people that don't know anything about music that kind of go, oh, look at that, you know, or some young kid playing, you know, because of the novelty of it, or older legend, that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But it's like, man, what's happened to the songs? You know, Tom Bukovac rants about it quite a bit, about the old chord progression being a missing thing these days. I agree, man. You know, I was watching that thing of Rick Beato. You know, the one where he was the AI thing? I'm going to play that again. I was thinking about what I was going to say. Not what I was playing. You know, and he creates that song with that AI thing. And I kind of think the musicians are to blame. You know, I was watching that video and I was like, dude, like that sounds like every other pop song that's around now. So I think if musicians are putting out a load of dribble, of course the AI can copy the dribble, right? Like that AI song person he made up and the song that he made up, you know, and people said, yeah, it sounded really good. I was like, you reckon? I mean, it sounded like Taylor Swift or something like that, you know, or some kind of generic pop singer, put any name you want in there. But to me it was like, you notice those AI things never do Stevie Wonder, right? Or they can't recreate Prince. Maybe they can, I don't know, but I haven't seen it. They can't recreate Prince or James Brown or anything like that that's got like real soul about it. Or Thelonious Monk or anything like that. It's always like 1, 4, 5 pop progressions with the most generic bland melody. Well, that's what a lot of pop music sounds like now, right? Like the thing about all the stuff that's coming out of Nashville or LA, a lot of that stuff is just so boring, and none of it sticks in my head. You know what I mean? I hear it and I've forgotten it as soon as I've heard it. You know, I'm the wrong audience though. I'm not the target audience. You know, it's designed for teenagers probably. I don't know, but then most people aren't very discerning. I think that was something that Rob Harris said in that chat, that most people, he gave a good analogy that some people will just eat anything, right? For example, they'll eat meat. They don't care what type of meat it is. They just eat, it's meat. They go, oh, okay. Like, you know, like the McDonald's, you know. I've got no problem with McDonald's, but, you know, chicken McNuggets are ground up chicken whatever. You know, people are a bit more discerning, probably kind of look at it and go, well, I don't want just ground up whatever. I want the best bit of the chicken. Do you know what I mean? And I kind of think hopefully this is the same with music, that the best of the music is going to keep going forward, and that AI slop can just be the same as the pop stuff. So I think musicians who are doing crappy work, well, maybe they've got something to worry about, but I think anyone who's actually trying to do something proper, and maybe, I don't know, maybe the arse will fall out of the music industry even more than it already has. Who knows? I don't normally play with a pick. Like when I play this stuff, normally I prefer the sound of the fingers, but because I don't have fingernails, got very short fingernails, as anyone who's watched my videos knows. Short fingernails sound really nice for like the fingerstyle stuff and for jazz type stuff on this, but not if you want to get this like the more classical sound, right? This sort of thing. Wish the guitar was more in tune. Sound is good. That song question here was, can you play Die With a Smile? I don't know Die With a Smile. Who's that by? Maybe I do. I'm terrible with the names of songs. Sorry. Like, I'm really bad with the names of songs, unfortunately. thank you for the kind words. Gee, I can't remember that. Oh, thank you for the kind words. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I mean, songs like that, they always sound great in certain keys on certain instruments, right? Like, that tune is originally E flat. But as you can see, when I play it like that, it sounds nice, right? But man, I'd play that song if I knew it. But it really wants to have the root note on the top, right? It nearly needs to be this. Doesn't really work, right? Put it in E. Right? It just works for the guitar key. Case in point of that is The Girl from Ipanema, which I'm sure many of you will know. But The Girl from Ipanema is an F, right? Like you see or at least that's what you see in the book, the real book. You know. I don't like it in that key. I don't like this. This is my chord down here. Let's use the tuning. Like I said, down below the note and tune back up. While I'm tuning, gives you the perfect opportunity to hit that subscribe button. No, it does help if you like and subscribe, people. So, right, if I play this chord, it's pretty low, right? And if I play this, it's kind of high, right? It really needs to be somewhere in the middle. Like, that's probably the sweet spot, right? But there's no root note in the bottom of that chord, so there's something about the key of F that I don't like it as much for that. Move it to the key of D flat, which is actually the key that Astrid Gilberto sung it in. just a much better key, right? And the guitar kind of has a whole lot of songs like that, where just the key kind of works. Sure, there are times you can capo. I don't like capos on nylon string guitars. For me, does it make me a real guitarist now I'm playing acoustic guitar? Especially a nylon string. And some classical musicians' eyes, they kind of see it like that, right? That this is a guitar. And they kind of have this attitude that this is something else. It's so dumb. I've seen that before, definitely. This is just a cheap guitar. It was like maybe $500 or $600 in New Zealand, which is like $1 in the US. Yeah, it was just a cheap guitar but it works, you know. You can probably see in the rack up there. Can I do this? That one is an old Ovation from the 70s. I think it's a 78 Ovation. I bought it. It's the same one as Pat Metheny. Except the difference with my one is the non-cutaway and Pat Metheny's is the cutaway. Otherwise, they're exactly the same. And it really is a sweet, warm-sounding nylon string. It sounds really good for jazz stuff. This one sounds way better generally. That one too has got a faulty pickup with it, but this guitar sounds more. This is more usable, more versatile, and that one's like what I'll use if I want really warm nylon string. And then I've got another one, which is one of those silent guitars that has, they have no body to them, and they kind of just have a shape that works. I'm gonna check this is all coming through. I assume it is still. Yeah, and that one's really good because if you're on a big stage and you got to play something really delicate with a singer, which has happened to me many times. I've had to play some classical style guitar stuff, big outdoor PA with an opera singer, and you're like, man, this is going to feed back. There's nothing you can do about it, Is it playing? What's going on? I was just checking that they were sounding okay. That's weird. It's not playing back on my phone. Uh-oh. Does it mean the stream's gone funny? Which happens sometimes. Oh no. I'm getting some drop frames too. It looks like I'm going to have to work on the buffer. I've dropped 390 frames tonight. It's weird. So if you see an odd little glitch, that's what's going on. Great things about playing solo is I can do any chords I like. Had two different sets of chords there. This is what I did the second time around. I thought about going major 7 sharp 9 and then going, then I was like, no, I'm gonna put the sus4 in there, so you have the 3 in the sus4, creates that kind of thing, but then you release it and all's fine. Cheers everybody, I hope everybody's well. Funny old time. I hope everything's good where you are, wherever you might be in the world. And it's kind of a tough time for a lot of people in New Zealand. The economy here is really doing badly. I think it's possibly is the case in other countries around the world, but particularly here, the economy's really taken a bit of a dive. There's a lot less gigs. I had no gig this weekend. I've got no gig next weekend. The week after that, we start a theatre show. I'll be doing that for a week with some students at Te Awaha, which will be fun. It's called Colour and Sound, so if you're in Wellington, come and see that. They're excellent. They're really good. It's myself, Michael Williams on piano, and Kate Marshall on piano also, and she's also MD. So between them, they're going to split up the piano parts, string parts, whichever, you know what I mean, on synths and all the rest of it. And then me on guitars. So that should be fun. And we've got a percussionist coming in for a few tunes and stuff. Eric. So that should be good. And then what have I got after that? Oh, I've got a gig in Wellington and Auckland playing with orchestras. So Orchestra Wellington and down here, and then the Auckland Philharmonic in Auckland, which is the main orchestra up there. And we're playing the Stardew Valley soundtrack, which I've done before. But this will be a new arrangement. And that was fun last time we did it. It was a huge hit. So, it sold out really well. Apparently that game sold 30 million copies of the game. I don't know. I don't play video games that much. But, apparently it was really popular. And I was talking to Leon Todd about it, and he was like, man, that's my wife's favourite game. So that's pretty cool, But, yeah, we get to do that again. So I've got two dates of that, Auckland and Wellington. I think it's just Auckland and Wellington. It might be Christchurch as well. Don't think it is. I think it's just Auckland, Wellington. And I'll be playing, I don't know if I'm playing this, but I know I'm playing acoustic guitar on some of it. And I'll be playing banjo. I use my cheap banjo, which is over there, which is a 6-string banjo. And people go, it's not a real banjo. It's like, man, 6-string banjo has been around for over 100 years. Come on, give me a break. And I don't care about learning a real banjo. I just want to sound like I'm playing banjo. And that works, right, for the stuff I need. If I want a real banjo player, book a real banjo player. You know what I mean? So I'll be playing banjo. I'll probably play a lot of acoustic guitar, I suspect. Maybe even this, I don't know. We'll have to see what they want in terms of instrumentation. So I think I played mandolin last time too. Which really complicates things, you know what I mean? If you have like all these different instruments you have to play, sometimes you'll pick up the mandolin and all of a sudden you've got a lot less volume. Do you know what I mean? So what I find really helps is I'll just set them up in the fractal. All right, I get the fractal when I go one patch for the acoustic guitar, and it might be just straight through with a touch of reverb. And usually, one thing I found too is set up 2 scenes. Right, set up one scene that's like this, right, and then do this as well. Not that. That's supposed to be clean dry. Yeah. So we have this. And then the exact same sound but no reverb, because it's been one of those things that I've turned up to those things before and the sound guy goes, "Oh, can you give me the same thing but no reverb?" And then all of a sudden you go, "Oh man, I gotta scroll through this blooming thing, try and figure it out." So I just set up two scenes an hour and kind of predict what they're gonna ask for. And if they don't like that, then what I give them is this. No, that's guaranteed to get you fired. Oh, cheers, Keith. Greetings and salutations. I just mentioned earlier, I don't know if you caught it, but my brother-in-law came over and he bought some duty-free. So he bought some, this is a New Zealand whiskey. I can't remember what it's called. I don't know much about New Zealand drams, you know. Most of the time for me it's single malt Scotch, you know what I mean? So this is a single malt made in the South Island, I think. It's not Cadrona, that's the most known New Zealand whiskey, I think. That's the only one I really know about. But yeah, so reasonable. Man, thank you for the kind words too, Keith. That's really nice of you to say. It's an interesting thing playing nylon string guitar. It's why I practice on this so much. This lives up in my living room, next to the couch. Probably drives my family nuts. But I have it there, and most of the time I practice without the pick. Although I sometimes have a pick if I want to get into that. But most of the time I'm playing, when I play this, I'm kind of thinking about sound production more than anything else. So you see there, I'm really focusing in on like how I'm producing a sound, because the thing with a guitar like this, I mean, I got a bit of reverb on it now because it's running through the fractal, but about 90% of what you're hearing is that mic right there. Man, it's so weird trying to point to things in that camera. It's just the mic, and then I've just set up the fractal for just a little bit of reverb on it. But it's so humbling, this thing. Do you know what I mean? It's because you've got nothing but the guitar and you. This one needs some new strings on it. And I'm real cheap. I don't know about anyone else, but I don't want to change them. Strings are expensive, man. Come on, some of these companies have got to give me a string endorsement again. Oh, thanks. This one is just some random pick I had lying around, which hopefully you can see it. It's not what I normally use. I got a bunch of them made when I was doing the daily videos on YouTube. It's going to try and focus on my face. I'll put it there. Guitar Daily with Nick Granville. Remember I did that for a year of videos every day? It wasn't as bad as you think. I actually find... There you go. That's the other side. But it's not what I normally use. Where's the pick I normally use? I normally use these. These are my favourite picks right now. I've been using these all the time. I just couldn't find one in particular when I grabbed this guitar. Prime Tones by Jim Dunlop. Got to put it in front of my face. I don't know if you can see that. Prime Tone 0.96. These are amazing. Really, really good. What I like about these is they seem to grip really well without feeling like they're sandpaper. You know, some picks, right, as opposed to the other one. Actually, I prefer the other one on the acoustic guitar, but on the electric, this Yeah, these are basically 1mm. They're 0.96. They do make a 1mm version, but I don't like the material they're made of. Get the one that's the softer material, not the hard, harsh one. That'd probably work if you had a really warm-sounding, smooth-sounding guitar and you wanted more cut. I don't. Most of the time I want it to sound warm. I'll make it brighter by changing pickups or whatever. But these are awesome. I really like these picks. It's what I normally use. And they don't seem to wear out. What I mean by that is they're hand beveled. When you get them, they're all the packs signed by whoever did the hand beveling on the edge, right? And I find that for the first day they sort of take a minute to break in. But then once they break in, which is where this one is now, they just stay the same. And what I find with them is they glide over the string really nicely. They're quite firm, even though they're a thinnish kind of pick, like it's a millimeter, but it doesn't really flex too much, but there's a little bit there. They're really good for rhythm guitar. They just, yeah, for the longest time I used these Jazz 3 XLs, which I'm sure you all know. Is that going to focus? I used those for the longest time, like 20 years probably, 15 years. What I like about this pick, the prime tones though, is they're better for rhythm. Do you know what I mean? I find that that's one of the things, like ideally like a lighter pick is really good for rhythm, like it feels good under the hand, but they're not so good for the lead stuff, right? So I find that this is kind of the happy medium, somewhere in the middle. Yeah, the old Jazz 3, yeah. Those are Jazz 3 XLs, though, the bigger one. I find the normal Jazz 3s, I did use those for a number of years, but I dropped them, and just because they're so small, you know what I mean? George Benson 1.2mm. I'm not sure what he uses these days. I'm friends with the guitar player in his band. I could probably find out, actually. I should. Mike O'Neill. I saw Mike in January, actually. We had a good catch up at the NAMM show. But I could text him, actually, and find out what George Benson uses these days, because I think it's different than what he used to use. I know back in the day, we're talking 30 years ago or something, he used to use quite thin small picks, like, Fender mediums or something like that. The only reason I know that is I took a lesson with this guy in Australia. Dude in Australia had actually studied with George Benson at that time, and he showed me how to do the picking technique, where you picks like that rather than straight. This. Yeah, and apparently you needed a light pick to be able to do it and make it. That's happened a few times now. It's caught on the end of that string. You need a light pick to be able to do that. So 2005. So that's a few years ago. So I reckon he's changed since then. Yeah, they came to New Zealand. I didn't go to that gig. I couldn't go. I had another gig, and a bunch of my students got to open for George Benson, because I think the University Big Band did the gig. And I'd love to have gone, because like I said, I know Mike O'Neill, so it was like one of those things, but we just didn't get a chance to. I was out of town. It was one of those. What drumsticks do you use, Sam McKenzie? Just don't want to hear that kind of stuff on a nylon string, do you? That is one thing with this guitar, though, too. It has quite lightish action on the higher strings. It does buzz a little bit. That's not me. That's that fret. I should get it fixed. How you doing, Sam? Yeah. What do you want to know, Keith? Let me know. I'm happy to answer anything. Unless you ask me if Sam McKenzie is a good drummer, because I can't give you the honest truth because he's in the chat. Played Matilda before, no, but let's just say it might be happening in the future. Maybe not. I can't confirm or deny. My friend Matt Fields, I don't know if you guys know, Sam, do you know Matt Fields? He's been to Wellington a bunch of times and we've done some gigs together. He did Matilda in New York. Had that for a number of years. Good man. Full swing into the Matilda book at the moment, as doing the Napier run of it soon. Oh, awesome. Oh, cool. It's an Eagles question. What to do some slide stuff, rocking a 2006 Strat Deluxe lowish action, good for anything but slide. Want to do some slide stuff, rocking. Yeah, it's an interesting thing, the low action thing, right? Like, I always thought you had to have high action, right, to play slide, but I've seen some players that say you don't. You know, people who really play it. And then I've seen mixed opinions about that. I'm not really sure, like, what the done thing is. For me, what I do is I have the guitar there. If you can see that one, that is my slide guitar. It's set up for slide all the time. It's got high action. And it just works really great for slide. But I don't use that for anything else other than that. And it works really well. And I have a Rock Slide, which the guy, one of the owners of Rock Slide, gave me one at the NAMM show earlier in the year. He heard me playing at one of the booths because I was trying out this mule guitar. And if you guys know those, they're like a metal guitar. Like literally a guitar made of metal. And so I was trying that out, and he came over and he was like, "Man, you sound great. Guess do you play slide?" And I said, "Oh, like a little." I said, "I'm really not very good." And he goes, "Oh," he goes, "Well, I'll give you one." I was like, "Okay." So he gave me one. So I have one good slide. I also got one made like last time I was at NAMM about 5 years ago. The Rock Slide, the interesting thing about it has a little groove on the side, so it sits against that finger without like digging into there. It also has a little curve thing on the bottom so that you can bend your finger. Just awesome. And I'm not great at slides, so I've been working on it, like somewhat getting better. Sam McKenzie sucks. Yeah, there you go. No, he doesn't. Sam is awesome. I'll stick up for Sam, whatever anyone else says. But I also got one made. I was at the NAMM show and I was chatting with Ariel Posen, and John Shanks comes over and goes, "Ariel, there's this guy around the corner who's making slides for people." And Ariel was like, "No, don't tell me, I don't need any more slides." Like, he's got his own signature slide, and he's one of the best slide players I've ever heard, you know. And I was like, my ear perked up, and I went, "Oh, I'm going to go around there." So I went around and had a look, and this guy had these little brass half slides, you know. But what he was doing is he was hand hammering them to fit your finger. So like, as long as your finger doesn't get any fatter. So I got one made like that actually fits my finger, and it's a half slide, so you can still play all your chords normal, but then kind of hit it. It's about that size, so it kind of ends up kind of almost being like a really fat ring that you might use to play slide. Yeah, it's awesome. So I have those two. But I think the thing is, like, I've seen people talk about stuff like this, and Juan Das, who I had on the channel, did some talk about slide, and he was saying one of the things to do is just work on playing a note and then slide into it and just get that in tune and start there. Oh, you know Matt too. Oh, nice. You always need a new axe, right? We don't need an excuse for it. There's Matt. I don't want to take it to get some and the keys to my gig. Oh, you play guitar and keys at the same time, man. I play a bit of piano actually as well, and I played like my first instrument I learned on a keyboard. And sometimes I thought maybe I could just come and do both on a gig, and then I'm like, no, that means a separate amp, separate keyboard. Hell no. Someone wants to pay me the proper doubling fee. We'll see on this show, the Stardew Valley that I have coming up, this video game soundtrack thing, if they'll actually give me a doubling fee for playing banjo and stuff, because it's separate instruments, you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, tribute band, right, yeah. That's a hard thing when you're doing Eagles, right? Because there's so many parts in that. You need heaps of singers, you need heaps of guitars, you need banjo for some of that stuff too, like all kinds of instruments, right? Yeah, the doubling fee, is more an orchestra thing and theatre show. Sometimes you get it. Lately, I've noticed they sort of say, "Oh no, we were just thinking, acoustic is kind of like part of your rig." So, and I'm like, really? If a violinist brings one violin and then they got to bring a second viola, they'll charge you a doubling fee. Yeah. Anyway. How's it for a key sig? Wrong notes. Thinking. Yeah, that's a tune called Black Orpheus from the movie Black Orpheus. It was also called A Day in the Life of a Fool. And it was also had another name too. I remember playing it. There was a Brazilian guitar player who was here, and he did a week at the university that I taught at, and I accompanied him on his workshop a couple of times, which was bloody scary, you know what I mean? Oh, thank you very much. Non-lethal, was that right? Am I reading that right? I'm glad you stumbled over my live stream. I'm welcome. And this Brazilian guy, and he didn't speak English, so there was a translator there, and the translator was there, and I was accompanying him, and of course he would call all these tunes that he wanted to play, And I don't know any of them because he was calling them their proper names. Yeah, there you go. You got it, Keith. That's exactly it. Mahana di Carnaval. I think that's the proper name. But he was calling them the proper names, so I don't know. So he'd start playing these tunes, and I go, oh, it's that song, you know what I mean? Or this song, or that, you know, I kind of would get them once I heard it, and we played. And one thing I noticed about him is the way he played the grooves was unlike anything else I'd ever kind of experienced before with coming to that sort of music, you know. And it was interesting because at first I thought, man, this guy can't play in time. And then the more I thought about it, I thought, hang on a second, this guy has like mastered this style. And here I am, like a jazz guitar player, hack at this style. It's not him that's wrong, it's me. So I gave up on trying to like be rigid about things, and I just followed him, and I felt it wherever he felt it, and then I was like, I realized what he was doing. He's putting this little push on beat 3 to get down, to get down, that little thing, this little thing on beat 3, which made it sort of feel a little bit lopey, but it was fantastic. And once I gave up on trying to play everything like really rigid like we normally do, right? Because that's what you kind of work on, and I just kind of went with his time feel. It was fantastic, you know, and I learned so much about that music. And we got a bunch of those Brazilian guitar players coming through. It was really cool. If you're new around here, please like and subscribe. I post a couple of videos a week, jazz, funk, so whatever kind of takes my fancy, really, to be honest. And actually, whatever you guys want to know. So if there's anything you ever want to know, like, join me for the live streams. I do these every Monday night at this time, Monday 9 p.m. New Zealand time, usually for about an hour. I try to. Sometimes it doesn't always work. And then usually I post a video on the weekend, and usually one during the week, some shorts in between. So yeah, you're right. That Brazilian thing is based on the drums. It's crazy. Yeah, totally. It's all about rhythm, right? Now, the one thing I love about the Brazilian stuff too is like you've got this really rich harmony going on in the music, but at the end of the day, it's dance music, isn't it? It's like it's designed for dancing. I mean, bossa nova is kind of not. It's kind of more a mellower thing, but samba and all the various different things you have going on, and that, you know, and Afro-Cuban music too. I like that stuff. It's great. Any songs you want to hear? Because I'm going to have to go in a minute, folks. I usually try to keep these to about an hour. Greetings from Texas, USA. Greetings from Wellington, New Zealand. We're on opposite sides of the world. I've always wanted to go to Texas. I've never been. I've got friends in Texas, in the Fort Worth area. And Mark Lettieri lives in the Fort Worth area. And I have been, every time I go to the States, I go usually to LA. And I've been to LA, this was my 11th time in January. I went to Alaska for the first time. I'd never been to Alaska. Some of our dearest friends live there, so we went and spent some time with them, which was awesome to go and reconnect after a few years of them not living in New Zealand. And I've been to New York as well. But I've never been to Texas. I reckon it'd be really fun. Yeah, Indian music is very educational. You're exactly right. It's rhythm-based, isn't it, right? I did a tour some years ago with Steve Smith, the great American drummer. You guys will know Steve from that band Journey. You know, Don't Stop Believing. You know. That's Steve playing on that, but he's a badass jazz fusion drummer too, you know. But he was really into conical and did a lot of that kind of stuff, and had a headset microphone around here. Cheers, everyone. And he he would do the headset thing with the conical, and it was funny. The first tune of the night, every gig was, because we did maybe 10 dates, I feel like it was, a week and a half, something like that, or maybe a week, can't remember, and some workshops and what have you. But there was the first song of every night was a tune called Just in Time, a standard, right? And Steve wanted to play it real fast, like, fast. And the first thing he said, the first thing I want anyone to hear is a guitar solo, like right up front. We're going to be like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, guitar, like straight away, right? And just blow and just keep going and going and going. So I'm like, okay. So the first night, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're swinging on the stuff, and then the horns would come in, and the thing builds, and we're into the song. After probably 2 minutes of guitar solo. Like fairly long for an intro, He wanted to be a bit ambiguous, And then the next night, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, I was like, okay, that picked up quite a bit. The third night he comes through and he goes, I'm going to pick it up. I said, are you going to pick it up even further again? He goes, yep. 1, 2, 1, 2, I'm like, I got to because you're going from cold, haven't, maybe you've warmed up, but not actually played any songs. And then all of a sudden, boom, there you are. You're like breakneck tempo, and every night it got faster and faster. I remember maybe 3 or 4, 5 nights in, man, I was right on the edge of what I could do. I was like, it was pretty full on. For drums, he's playing a quarter note, ding, 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 the occasional skip. Bass players walking in 4. This was drums, but it might have been piano as well, comping. But I'm the one who even play eighth notes and other subdivisions over it. So and then I had to just kind of let go, because you know what I mean? As soon as you think it's too fast, or it's too hard, or it's too whatever, that's your reality, right? You're going to get tripped up. So I had to just let go and just go with it. And it was fine, And then the next night it got faster still, and I was just like, The other thing that happened too was I started thinking, well, sure, I can play fast, but I don't have to, right? So I started going, well, if you're playing fast tempo, 1, 1, 2, and 1... Your temptation is to want to play all those eighth notes, but you could just go. You can just drop into playing melodically, and actually that's the kind of thing that put me at ease, because it was like, okay, I don't have to burn. I can just play melodically and then just play the occasional phrase, and it'll have more impact. So Steve was always teaching us, and then of course he'd play some amazing drum solos and really get into the conical stuff. It is a great technique for odd meter, isn't it? I think in general, when it comes to odd meter or anything like that, if you sing it, however you sing it, whether you sing conical or you have your own method of how you do it, or you just even think 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2, or maybe you think 1 and 2 and 3 and however you intellectualize that in your mind, the main thing is to kind of put it into singing, right? I think. Yeah, you got it, Steve. Speed of thought over fingers, right? Because your fingers will let you down. Your brain will keep up. But even then, most of the time too, just let go and just play. Overthinking is never good, That kind of never helps anything either. I'm going to play one more tune. What should I play? I'll got one for you. I don't know Down That Dream. I mean, I know it, but I've never learnt it. I should learn it. It's one of those tunes that I've always had in the back of my mind that I should sit down and one day learn, and then I never get round to it. Great tune though. What is it? Yeah, something like that. Reading your comments instead of focusing on what I'm actually playing. It's got a badass voice leading setup. The melody intersects perfectly. Yeah, I agree. It's a great tune. I should learn down that drain. Sorry, I want, one of these days I will. It's a great. Oh, that's very nice of you to say. So the comment here says, thanks for making our souls visit a better, beautiful place. Man, thank you very much. That's really kind of you to say. That's made my day to hear a nice comment like that. And it's a funny thing with music, isn't it? It's like music is one of those things. It's like the arts in general is the first thing on the chopping block when the economy goes rough, right? Which is kind of what's happening here in New Zealand at the moment. And I'm sure for a lot of other countries in the world. But music and art is the thing that makes people feel better about the world. And it explains the world as best as it can be explained, right? When you think about it, right? So many things in music, people get music before they can even speak. Like, right? You get little kids like 1 month old and 2 months old, and you see them moving their head to music, because it enriches people's life. Yeah. Keith says, thank you, bro. I feel suitably enriched as well. Cheers, brother. I appreciate that, man. It's one of those things. I never know with these live streams what to do, or I don't really know what to do with any of the stuff with YouTube. Sometimes I kind of think, man, am I wasting my time doing this? And then people say nice things like you guys have, and I go, oh, well, that's why I'm going to keep doing this. You know what I mean? I'm not chasing any kind of views. I do stuff because I want to. I'm not trying to be famous. there's a whole lot of people that are trying to do that on here, that are rage baiting or like trying to deliberately, and yeah, don't get me started. But I think that stuff is just so dumb. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you want to do with your music? That's the thing for me. So I'm very fortunate. I get to play music, and I get to play music in the way I want to play music. You know what I mean? So it's sort of one of those things that's why I keep doing this, because and it's growing slowly, and it's probably going to be growing slowly, but that's totally fine. It's I saw someone the other day talking about how people buy followers on YouTube. Why? Like, if you're going to get a whole lot of bots on your channel, like, how is that, like, why? It just makes no sense to me. Maybe they can go to companies and say, hey, look, I've got 10,000 followers in a week or something, but they're fake. And anyone would see that. I saw someone like that before. They had 60 something thousand subscribers on their channel, and most of the videos were getting maybe 200-300 views. It's a thing, isn't it? Yeah, you got it, Leo. The rage baiting thing, man. It's like, I saw someone the other day saying, if you how to become a genius at harmony in 7 minutes. And in the next video was something like how to learn harmony even if you're stupid, or something like that. It's like deliberately trying to provoke people, whatever. Each to their own. People can do whatever they want with their YouTube channels, but I'm just gonna keep doing this while it's fun. And that's why I do it, and it's get to do it in my kind of way, and if people get something from it, then that's awesome. And just talk about the gigs that I do and the playing that I do and the things I'm up to, and try and teach you all some stuff that hopefully you can get something to learn from. Anyway, I'm gonna have to split. People, thank you so much for joining me. You're awesome. I'll see you. I'm here every Monday night at 9 p.m. to do this weekly live stream. I also do a video out every weekend. Mixture of demos of gear, of lessons, a lot of lessons, some performance stuff of various gigs. So thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you soon. Cheers.